The brain is the most metabolically active organ in the body. Even though it is small, it uses up to 20% to 30% of the breakdown products that we eat. When your brain is at rest, 20% of these energy breakdown products are used. 25% is used when you're active, and 30% is used when you are intensely focusing or feeling stressed. There's a continuous interplay between the brain and the environment. Studies have found that there's a direct relationship between access to food and brain size. This has resulted in larger brains typically found in human beings being associated with the development of cooking skills, access to food, and energy supplies. Of course, nutrition also has physical consequences, such as impacting our hormonal levels, fertility, and bone health, to name a few. Food doesn't just affect our cognitive processes and physical health, it also directly impacts our emotions, also known as the food-mood connection. There are several gut hormones that can enter the brain or are produced by the brain itself. Given the industrial and agricultural revolutions, there's been a reduction in essential gut microbiomes as we consume more refined foods. These gut bacteria are constantly mutating to stay alive, leading to some cravings we may experience coming from a lack of nutrients and macronutrients. Probiotic foods such as kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, and kefir might help gut bacteria to survive and stay healthy. There are many other nutrients that contribute to our physical and mental well-being. I'll be going into more detail with just a couple, including omega-3, vitamin B12, and vitamin D. So starting with omega-3, our brains are 60% fat, and 90% of that is a compound called DHA. Children are often given oils because they are the building blocks of the brain, which helps it to form the structure and effective communication of cells. Omega-3 makes up 40% of the grey matter. Grey matter is linked to overall cognitive abilities, such as input from the senses, memory and learning, speech, emotional regulation, self-control, and decision-making. Health benefits from omega-3 include reduced depression, and some studies have found a correlation between higher levels of omega-3 and lower rates of Alzheimer's disease. However, these research findings are mixed. Omega-3 can be found in fish, such as salmon and mackerel, as well as fish oils and algae. Vitamin B12 is required for the healthy functioning of our nervous system and to combat fatigue. It keeps blood cells functioning, aids DNA production for healthier aging, promotes antibodies, and supplies energy to neurons for communication. Importantly, it has a significant role in the production of serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer. Deficiency of this vitamin has been linked to mood disorders. Sources of vitamin B12 can be found in fortified cereals and animal products such as fish, eggs, meat, milk, and cheese. Vitamin D regulates calcium homeostasis and bone integrity within the body, but it also plays an important role in the brain as it aids in promoting healthy tissue functioning. There generally seems to be a deficiency of vitamin D in the Western world, especially in countries that do not get enough sun. A deficiency can increase the risk of dementia, depression, and mental health complications during pregnancy. Food sources that have vitamin D include egg yolks, fortified cereals, oily fish, and red meat. If we naturally have a balanced diet, we will get enough of each of these nutrients. It is helpful to understand the function of these nutrients so that we develop a positive relationship with food. This brings me on to the next part. Often we don't recognize how this can affect our eating habits or how we feel about food. For example, calling pizza, burgers, cakes, and other indulgent foods guilt foods already sets up our mind to experience a negative emotion associated with this food type, and can eliminate the positive experience we might have had by indulging once in a while. Or the common narrative around cheat days, as this again has negative associations and can leave us feeling anxious, ashamed, and guilty. Often these narratives are learnt through childhood, society, or cultural messaging, so it can be hard to detect that these may be unsustainable and perhaps need to be challenged. We need to start being kinder to ourselves by reprogramming our language habits around food. The other thing we can do is, rather than focusing on what or how much we are eating, we should pay attention to the messages our body is sending us. You can try intuitive eating, as your body naturally knows what is good for it and what is not. When we are feeling full, we automatically will be aversive to unhealthy foods. This means that we will not have to focus on a prescriptive diet per se, unless we are suffering from a specific health condition, of course. Be kind to yourself, and if you feel unhappy with how you are eating, try to understand why. Is it because of the food itself, or is it because of the way you perceive the food? Here are some practical tips for keeping a balanced diet. You can balance the nutrients on your plate, have 5 staple recipes that are easy, keep healthy cupboard staples, monitor your hydration and hunger levels, and focus on nutrients rather than on calories.